Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. It's Charles and
Z.
And today we've got a topic that we've been talking about quite a bit in the last couple of weeks because we've been dealing with some things. But what we want to talk about is we want to talk about how you cope with aging family members.
Yes.
So what kind of brought this to the forefront for us in the last couple of weeks is my dad, who lives on property with us, and we're going to talk about like kind of how and why that arrangement came to be. He's been sick the past couple of weeks. The kids caught something, as they always do, probably baby man's daycare, and everybody got it. It turned out it was influenza A,
Correct.
so the regular schmegular flu. But my dad, who's 85 years old, he got it, and he ends up at the hospital 2 times from it, which is not atypical from him. It happened once last year too, respiratory stuff. But so we had to help him out with that. We're glad that we can be really close to work through all that. But so it got us talking about what are the things that we go through as adults when our parents, when our family members start to get a little bit older, and all of a sudden it's not them taking care of us, it's us taking care of them, and how that impacts our lives. So Z, what are your thoughts about that?
Well, let's first start off. When did you first start to feel as if you had the parental role in regards to your parents, right? Or parent?
Yeah, so for me, my parents got divorced when I was 8, and my dad never got remarried. My mom got remarried, my dad did not, and I lived with my dad primarily from when I was like 10 years old to when I got out of high school when I was 18, and I knew a long time ago, I knew 20 years ago that it was going to be, I was going to be responsible for my dad mostly when he got older, and I think when he retired in 2007. Now he and I actually worked together for a little bit. We're in the same industry. We do the same thing. We worked at the same company, and he retired in 2007, and he spent a lot of time by himself. And not being married, he would play golf. He had his friends and stuff like that, but they were all married. They had they had their own lives going on. And so whenever my dad would need something, whenever his computer would break, whenever he would need to get something big down from the attic, when something would go wrong in the yard that he just couldn't handle by himself, it would be me coming over to his house. And for a while during that time, I was single, and I lived pretty close to him, probably 5 or 10 minutes away, and that really wasn't a big deal. But then fast forward, when I grew up a little bit and I got married to my first wife, and then especially after we had our first baby, then it became a little bit of a thing. We were living like 45 minutes away, and so when something would break, I'd have to run out to my dad's house. It would be like 3 hours or so. Hold on, we're picking up some coffee. So,
And if you guys
how
are
are
not
you?
Starbucks person,
Matcha latte?
yeah.
I'm going to recommend the iced
doing today?
Doing great. How
matcha
about
with
yourself?
oat milk, and add
That's what we're having.
I know. I think this is going to
pumps
blow
of
off
white
and give us a little
mocha.
sun, though.
and 1 pump of
like a strawberry
hazelnut
drink?
with
No, thank
vanilla
you.
All
cold
right, you guys have a
foam.
wonderful day.
It is
You too.
the best, especially if you're, a little hesitant on the matcha taste. But anyway, that's a side note if you want to try the matcha from Starbucks.
Yeah. Oh, and Baby Man wants to chime in.
Say hey to the people, baby man.
So yeah, so with my dad, it was a long time. It's been 20 years that I've realized that I'm going to be primarily responsible for taking care of my dad. I have siblings, but they don't live close. They live in other areas of the country, and so when I was married to the older kid's mom, I would have these times when I'd have to go drive out to take care of my dad, do something for him, and it would be like 3 hours in total, like 45 minutes out to his place, an hour and a half to fix whatever he had going on, and then like 45 minutes back. And
I know we should have gotten a straw for baby man.
Oh no!
Because he sees the drink and he wants some.
Okay, we're gonna go get a straw for baby man to try the drink, and then we're gonna resume our video. So Z, cut us off for 1 second. Okay, so we have good news and bad news. The good news and the bad news are both that baby man loves the matcha. So that's good because he likes it, but it's bad because he keeps asking for it over and over again.
So if you hear mama or you see the back of me, excuse me, I'm giving him little light sips here and there because I don't know if it's the healthiest for a little man, but not the worst, definitely.
Oh, careful.
What
Baby man, you got to be done now. You can't drink all of mama's matcha. Okay, you guys, we're back, and we got our situation figured out with baby man. We gave him these little yogurt bites that he loves, and so hopefully he'll be entertained for a minute while we do our video.
These are legit. Our kids love them. Amara organic smoothie melts. You can get them at your local Costco, or at least we get them at our Costco.
So, with my dad, that was causing an issue. The fact that I had to go out, especially after the first child was born, and I would have to leave my then wife to go, and do a 3-hour errand out to the beach. And this would happen, once a week, once every couple weeks or something. And that's kind of a big deal, especially when you only get like 2 days off during the week from work. And so we made a decision that we wanted to try to move my dad onto property. And so we actually sold that house and moved to a house that had a second house on the property. And that's actually the house that Z and I live in now with our kids. And it's really convenient because, like just this last week when he was having all these respiratory problems where he got sick, and then, he would literally come, like one morning he came stumbling over with no shoes on, and he's like having all these respiratory problems, and we had to call 911, take him to the hospital. I just think, like, my gosh, what if he was still living 45 minutes away? And then now, he needs a little something almost every day. And the fact that I can just walk into the backyard and he's there, that's huge. I don't even know like what we'd be doing if he was still living 45 minutes away. So that's what kind of got us thinking about how we deal with our aging parents. And Z, I know you think a lot about your mom, your dad.
I do. So my scenario is a little bit different. My parents are slightly younger. I know our little one's in the back. He's yelling at me. I hear you.
Does he want more yogurt bites?
You want more? If I can open these. There you say thank you. You're welcome. And so my scenario is slightly different than Charles. My parents live about 6 hours away or so.
Yep.
Slightly younger, and while I think they have a little bit more of a network where they are, I still worry about them. It's always a thing where when
you say network, what do you mean?
When I say network support, right? For example, my mother and my father are not together, but my mother has her sisters, there's some family friends. She has a built-in network, so I know if something goes wrong, someone's gonna call, someone can help her get somewhere if her car breaks down, things like that. But there's always a scenario where, I call her and I don't hear from her for about 3 days. And if you know my mom, she's not tech savvy. I probably inherited those same genes. But my mind always goes to the worst case scenario, right? Did something happen to her? I think as I got into my 30s, I started to realize that I had more of a at times parental role, right? I'm asking her about labs and, or why are you taking this medication? You don't know why you're taking this medication. And it's probably also for my medical background too, I also get concerned about things. But sometimes I wish that I was a little bit closer, right, to my parents so I can ensure, they're taking the appropriate medications, or they're going to, they're doing what they need to do, or eating the right foods. And I just think that's a role that we all, if we have a good relationship with parents or other older relatives, that it starts to become more apparent, especially in your 30s, that you kind of become the parent. You're not the parent, but you take on the parental roles a little bit in that regards. And I was telling Charles, it's such a good thing that we live so close to his father, because, the week or two ago that he was talking about, if we didn't live close, I'm afraid what may have occurred. Right? Oh, we got some aggressive driving going on there.
But we got a good parking spot.
Yeah. So.
What, you ran out of stuff to say?
Yeah, I just got thrown off of the parking spot, but yeah.
It's Costco. Sometimes you gotta zip and zap.
So I don't like Costco. It'd be a little too aggressive for me. I don't.
But I think especially with older, with aging parents, if they're together, if your parents are still married, or if they're married to somebody, then that helps a lot, because they have kind of a built-in support system there, right? Well, most.
Or a network, like I was saying, for example, my mother, she has her twin sister, she has her older sister, she has family friends. It's so there is a network, right? Like I said, for a car were to break down, she's someone who can take her. Or sometimes, one of my aunts will call me and say, hey, your mom needs this, or make sure she does this. So there's people around her where I feel okay. I still would love to be closer to her at times. But there's still a network around her where I feel like she has that support. But I think just with her being older, right, you still worry though, right? Especially, like I said, with my mom, I can't get a hold of her, she or my dad. I'm just like, what's going on? And my mind goes to the worst case scenario in that regards.
And so with that, we've talked about a lot of things regarding aging parents, aging family members, and how you incorporate that with your relationship and your family. But leave us some comments down below. Tell us, what you've dealt with your, trying to accommodate your aging parents, aging family members, and also let us know if you have any ideas for other videos that we should do around that topic. I think this is something we haven't really mined into that much yet, but it's something that we talk about all the time, so I think you're going to hear more about it.
Yeah, and sorry, our video, the kiddo in the back, a little disruptive, Starbucks snacks for this one, but it's real life. But anyway, remember to like and subscribe down below. Until next time, you guys.